The Plymouth Taskforce to End Homelessness is dedicated to finding permanent housing solutions for our neighbors in need and helping to identify and access the supportive services that can help. Julie Thompson spoke to President Connie Melahoures.
Today I'm very pleased to welcome Connie Melahoures, who's the Executive Director of the Plymouth Taskforce to Help the Homeless. Thank you so much, Connie, for being here. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to be into this position?
Sure. My career was in education, and I retired in 2003. And I was looking for other ways to give back or give to the community, and I wanted to find something that nobody else was doing. And as it turned out, it was discovered that there were no services for unhoused individuals in Plymouth. And it actually came to the forefront when an individual was crushed to death in a dumpster. So others and myself realized that we needed to do something. So in the fall of 2004, a group of us met together and we were looking into, well, how can we provide, firstly, emergency sheltering to get people off the street during the winter months. Mm-hmm. So we did a lot of research and tried to figure out how we were going to do this. And we discovered a program on the Cape, and we used that as a model, whereby they used churches as host sites to bring individuals in for the night, provide them with a meal, and then send them out. So we based our program on that. We started in the fall of 2000. It was December of 2004. We had like 3 or 4 churches to begin with, and so we began bringing them in off the street.
Wow. Okay, great. Good for you. So this has been going on for 18 years. This is wonderful.
Yes,
and you deal with individual homeless people versus families, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
The Coalition for the Homeless deals with families.
Okay. And your goal is to find permanent residence for these people. Now,
that's correct.
To that end, I know you've bought some property. So tell me about the different places that you now can house these homeless people.
All right, so we bought property in North Plymouth through the Community Preservation Act. We bought a duplex that had 10 rooms, so we were able to bring into those units 8 formerly homeless individuals along with 2 house managers. And then a couple of years later, we bought the old Quintal property on the corner of South Spooner and Court Street, which is right next door. So we have, a total of 13 units in which we house formerly homeless individuals. And by the way, it is permanent housing. Okay. It is congregate housing. These folks share a bathroom and a living room. It's not a perfect, ideal situation, but these people are off the street.
Right.
And in order to support that housing, we have subsidies provided to us by Father Bills. Okay. And there are 2 or 3 individuals who are not subsidized that provide us with 30% of their income.
Okay. So is the goal that this is where they stay permanently, or is there another goal to get them somewhere else?
Well, it is permanent for those who can't go somewhere else.
Okay.
All right. We have had people move on from this housing into traditional apartments, whether it be senior housing or Section 8s.
Okay. Now, do most of these people have some kind of jobs, and is it more men than women?
Okay, so the property that we have, 2 of the units or 8 rooms altogether are for men.
Okay.
And then 5 of the units in the other house are for women.
Okay.
And some of them are young enough and able enough to work.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 of them, and then the rest are really older and have some disabilities that prevent them from working.
And do they help with household chores, and do they kind of run the house themselves?
Well, we have a house manager who oversees them, and they take care of themselves. The only requirement is that they keep the common areas clean, and we do have a house cleaner that comes in once every couple of weeks to just clean those common areas. So those are just the units that we own, and then through Father Bill's Mainspring, there are a few other scattered site apartments that are subsidized throughout town.
Throughout the town of Plymouth. Now, there must be Are there more homeless people than there are rooms available to house the homeless people?
We're always looking for additional property to buy and or rent. So the answer to that question is yes. But um, within the last couple of years, because of more subsidies coming through, we've taken from shelter like a total of 28 to 30 individuals off the streets.
Oh, that's
And the
wonderful.
ones that we're seeing in shelter now are relatively new to homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
So, our goal is to reduce the number of people that are actually on the streets. And the task force has been looking in conjunction with Father Bill's a piece of property that would be close to transportation, upon which we can build a building that would contain studio type apartments,
Sure.
and or a piece of land that has a building that could be renovated into such a project. So and it's crucial that we find that location because there's ARPA money available to do building.
Right.
The American Rescue Act.
Yeah, right now there is, correct.
That's right.
Now,
Correct.
do you have any kind of funding from the state or the feds?
We do not. We're all self-funded, and we get the subsidies through Father Bill's, which gets the money from the state and the federal government.
Okay, and I assume that you do fundraisers, or you have.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yep.
How can people
We
support
run
you?
a golf tournament every year, except for last year
Yeah,
when we had
yeah.
to cancel due to COVID.
Yeah.
And this past August, well, actually it was a year ago. This past August, we had our best fundraiser ever. We raised almost $28,000
Wow, that's
net
wonderful.
for our group. Yes.
That's
And then
terrific.
we have a lot of individuals who give us money. During the pandemic, when we had to house people in Pilgrim Sands because we weren't able to use the churches, we were able to get a lot of grant money.
Yeah.
And money from different organizations. So yeah.
Now, do you have access to using churches now? If it's
Yeah, we do.
one night or 2 nights, that type of thing?
And we rotate week by week. All
With different
this,
churches.
This season we have had 3 churches: First Baptist, Christ Church, and St. Mary's. And First Baptist does the most, and Christ Church is next. So yeah, we don't move from night to night. That's too complicated.
Oh, sure. And how long do people generally stay in one of those transitionary, like the churches, before that you find them a permanent place?
It varies. It depends on when the subsidies are available.
Yeah.
Like, for example, towards the end of the season, 2 or 3 more individuals will be housed as of April 1st because the money's,
Coming in.
subsidies are there.
Sure, got it.
As I said, right now, the people in shelter are relatively new. We've had people who are considered chronically homeless. They've been homeless for a year or more, or have had 3 or 4 episodes of homelessness within the last 3 years.
Mhm.
So it takes, it has been the funding and finding the locations to rent
Mhm.
that has been the challenge.
Right. And once they're in there, you assist them with the basics, applying for aid if they get it, if they need counseling, if they need medical help. Do you assist
correct.
them with all of that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
the
holistically
subsidized
helping.
ones more so. We have 2 or 3 people in our units who are not subsidized, but they're okay without. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you have people volunteer and help you?
Oh yes. So for the emergency sheltering, we have 1 paid staff person provided by Father Bill's
Yep.
that stays overnight, and then we have a volunteer chaperone who stays overnight. And then we have people who volunteer to prepare and serve meals. And all of that happens through signing up through Meal Train Plus.
Yep.
And we never fail to get people to sign up
Yeah.
for meals. Getting people to chaperone is more of a challenge.
Sure.
Because it is overnight.
Right.
So,
It's more of a commitment. Right. So we're going to put all the information about how to get in touch with your organization on
Yep.
the screen. Thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck with this continued wonderful thing that you're doing for the future.
you're welcome. And thank you for having me.
Sure.
It's important that we get the word out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. To learn more and how you can help, visit plymouth-taskforce-homeless.org.
If you've enjoyed this video by The Local Scene, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.